Hello again.
Hello.
And Deborah, are you with us? No, she left the building. So that is just you and me for now, but I know she will be back in a second. So welcome to this session, Yves, and thank you for being one of my favorite INKISH colleagues. I think it's been, we have never met in person, which is also, a little strange working so closely together. And especially when you consider also that the pandemic has given us, you was the inventor of the smart factory in Europe, and we did that a month ago together with Jacques Michels from INKISH Benelux. And I think it was a wonderful session. And I think that you, and for the audience attending right now, I would just say that one of the things that you should do, go to INKISH News, go into the catalogs in the top, and there is a number of very, very good articles in English written by Yves and Jacques. So you have a good opportunity not only to listen to Jacques in this session, which is about the business model, but business model canvas, but also about all the other elements that we have been touching upon this week, as well as we did in Europe a month times ago. So Yves, you work also as a consultant in France. What is the temperature of the printing industry in France, in your opinion, right now?
After the first lockdown, the printers understand and try to apprehend with philosophy these situations, and with this new situation, this new lockdown, even that the manufacturing company is not closed, but the impact that the fact that, for example, most of us are in lockdown, the production declined, so the printers are a little bit worried about these situations.
Yeah.
And they hoped, of course, that most of us that a solution will be found sooner in order to reduce
this time here, right? Yeah.
Yes, this time.
Yeah. Let's move to a little bit more joyful. It's actually more joyful, but it's not more joyful. But I want to bring attention. I will actually put a link in a moment in the chat, because you two didn't know each other until INKISH, did you?
Me and Yves?
Yeah.
No.
The first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we met together. I met Deborah several years ago at Drupa, the last Drupa. I'm not sure
nice
that.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
The reason why I mentioned this is because, as you know, Yves, one of the things that you have been responsible for in relation to Deborah is the founder and the idea of Thank a Printer. And I think that all of us from INKISH, when we saw the American version that we did together, we soon realized that we needed to do that in multiple languages. And you wrote the script for the French edition. And I think that the footage, and it has the same kind of delicacy in having a good talk track and having a good kind of phrasing all the issues where the printers have to be thanked for their work during the pandemic. So I know that you have seen it, Deborah, and now you have Yves here. Isn't that just wonderful to have this collaborative kind of opportunity cross-world?
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of what we're talking about, the interconnectivity of everything. Humans have been Industry 4.0. We, Print Media Center and INKISH have been operating like this for a long time, in where we combine our technologies, combine our audiences, and I don't want to say combine our ideas, because events and topics. So it was honestly something I never thought about, even expanding Thank a Printer into different languages, until Morton 4.0 came around and said, wait a second, there's a big, and, I do have to say that I will take some ownership that it's also an American mindset. Yves and the other people who translated it really took it to heart, didn't just translate my words, but created their own stories and their own images. So merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Wow, that was great.
Wow.
Even got a little
Thank you
French.
very much.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because, Yves, when we do sessions like this, of course we have a tendency to be very much about technology and business and things like that. But part of as I said in my presentation about the digital mindset, is also about people collaborating, right, and understanding the things. So Yves, in your opinion, can we learn from the Americans, and can we teach the Americans anything, or are we too cultural different in your opinion?
No, of course, we learn really together. For example, I appreciate a lot. I read a lot of American experts from what they think. For example, all these experts are the articles, and they analyze it very clear and also
Could you say
pertinent for French printers.
So you say that the some of the challenges that American printers see, and where the experts, from what they think, do their analysis, can also be referred to Europe, or is it more like an inspiration in your opinion?
I think what for a printer or for any manufacturing factory, what is important, first of all, it is to understand their customers' needs, the customer compartment, how they consume, and so on. It's true, perhaps, between a French customer and an American customer. The way they consume product can be different. So regarding the business model and strategy, a company should take care of this difference. But otherwise, regarding the methodology, of course, I think that now when we discuss about personalization, individualization of the product and so on, is true in United States and in France and in Germany also.
And Deborah, the same question to you. Americans own the world, but can you learn anything?
No, I wouldn't characterize it by that.
No, but we're Europeans, so that's how we characterize it.
Okay,
right?
well, that's
No,
fair.
I'm just kidding.
I can't. I would say that, I have a limited perspective on this because I don't buy equipment or anything or own a print shop. But I can say that from my travels, and also from Drupa being in Europe and the place where technology is first launched in many cases, that Americans do look to Europe as the beta testers on a lot of these things. And you guys adapt technology faster than we do. We like to sit back and say, well, do I really need, we like to take our time, making decisions and who else is using it. So in that sense, we do keep an eye on Europe to see what's going in the early onset of inkjet. As a matter of fact, the Europeans embraced it before we did. I don't know why. It could just be that you had the machines being made over there and we didn't, whatever it was. But we literally took your variable data samples and embraced them, and those became selling points for the manufacturers, showing us all of the personalization and customization that was being created in Europe, and probably significantly because of all the different languages. So it was an easy something for a publisher, if RC's here, I'm sure, to say, I don't just need a newspaper in French. I also need it in a few other languages to serve the community in Paris. And so, yes, it's very important that way. Then, of course, we'll take the technology, take it over, and run the world with it. But that's a whole other thing. That's where we come in. And when we come in too, we want it bigger and better. So, so we like
size
to
me
see,
up.
Yes, we like to see what you guys are doing, and then we want to say, well, now I want to make it bigger and better and use it, in bigger and better ways. Because to your point, Morten, we like to supersize things here.
Supersize, yeah.
Yes.
Deborah, we had to move into the session with Yves because this is I wouldn't say it's a complex subject, Yves, but I would say it's something that you still should be a little focused on understanding what you're talking about, right?
That's the reason
I'm going to jump behind the scenes then, and I'll be banning the chat if you guys need. Thank you so much.
That's the reason I use tools in order to simplify the subject. It's true that we discover that I use wonderful tools, the canvas of Alexander Osterwalder in order to simplify this analyze. So we can start these presentations.
Okay,
and of course, Morten, you can also give your point of view during the presentation, and so on. I will be very delighted to have your...
I will definitely listen into it, and I will interrupt you when I don't understand shit.
Thank you.
So, but you know that the slides are on your side, so I will just turn off the microphone and the camera, but I will be with you all the time.
Thank you very much. So I start the presentation. So thank you very much. So we welcomed. Like, first of all, we will first quickly summarize what Industry 4.0 is, and then answer the question how Industry 4.0 will change your business model, relying on a business study, the business model 4.0 of the French printer Dupliprint group. So first of all, what is Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory in a nutshell? As a smart printer for a printing company and also manufacturing company, it's a question of evolving towards the concept of smart print shop, or more generally smart factory, that are more agile, more flexible, and more responsive to consumer requirements. This smart factory aims to create manufacturing environment with very little human touch point, to free operator from tedious and repetitive tasks through automation and collaborative robotics. The printing presses and other production devices, which are increasingly autonomous, will share their statue information via cloud and will manage their own maintenance needs, and will adapt instantly to a new production needs. Printer will be able like that to view their productivity of their press and machinery at a glance in real time, for example, on a smartphone or a tablet, and take immediate action in case of deviation. But now, if we read the definition of the official platform Industry 4.0, so the definition of Industry 4.0 is best understood as new level of organizational control over the entire value chain of the life cycle of product. It is geared towards increasingly individualized customer requirements. The basis of the fourth industrial revolution is the availability of all relevant information in real time by connecting all instances involved in the value chain. So, as the definition is a little bit blurred, academic authors are given a simpler definition and define Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory as a factory consisting of smart machine, producing smart products operated by smart operators. And other academics clearly argue that for Industry 4.0, substantially is about new innovative business model, embracing the new possibility emerging for the use of new technology. As they ask for that, it is a new business model which will make the new technology fruitful. So now the impact of Industry 4.0 on your business model. With each industrial revolution, new economic models are developed and then collapse due to change in the economic and technological environment, which exceeds the capacity of the player to adapt. At the same time, this evolution also leads to the emergence of new models that are more efficient, more flexible and agile, and less resource consuming. So, but first of all, what is a business model? According to Alexander Osterwalder and Yves, the business model describes the principle by which an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. And to help us understand and then grasp the impact of Industry 4.0 on the business model of your printing company, that is to say, the impact on the value you will capture, create, and deliver to your customer, will rely on their very famous model, in particular for its simplicity and ease of implementation in the description of understanding of a business model, the strategic canvas of Osterwalder and Yves. They consider that a business model that can be represented by 9 blocks, which describes the economy of a company, the way it's planned to make money. The 9 blocks that compose it allow to clarify. First, 1, the company value proposition through a description of its product and service offering at the center of the canvas. 2, on your right, the network of cooperating agreement with the other firm needed to effectively deliver a market value. 8, the cost structures, summarizing the monetary consequences of the means employed in the business model. And finally, 9, the revenue stream describing how the firm will make money. These nine blocks make it possible to apprehend the commercial, marketing, industrial 4.0, and also digital strategies of a printing company, according to the sector of activity and the market on which it chooses to position itself. To fully understand the impact of Industry 4.0 on the business model of printing company, we will rely on a business study, the Dupliprint Group label Vitrine Industrie du Futur in France. We had the pleasure of interviewing with Jacques Michels, head of INKISH Benelux, its CEO, Frédéric Fabi, during our Smart Factory event in September of this year. So, first, regarding the value proposition, what's the impact of Industry 4.0 on the value proposition? What is the competitive value Print 4.0 will provide? What the value proposition distinguish yourself from your competitors? Which customer value component will be the key success factor to win orders? Which component will be minimum requirement to compete? Quality, service, cost, time. So, if we discovers the value propositions and the customer segment of the group Dupliprint. Dupliprint, if we start by customer segment, is particularly positioned in segmented markets in several sectors of activity. Pharmaceutical, laboratory, banking, publishing, but also books in broad sense, books for publisher, but also technical documents, management document, and all product having a cover and a body. The group also have an activity around direct marketing, personalization, leaflets, an activity more in quote standard basic print for franchise networks that order leaflets, brochure, posters, and so on. And Frédéric explains that these markets are price-driven, more or less depending on the market segment in which you are positioned. But whatever you do, at the end of the day, the price will be important. And for the CEO, Frédéric Fabre, the biggest competitor is digitalization. Because today, except perhaps packaging, all printing markets are in decline. In France, but I think also in United States. And if we want to give paper a chance, paper must absolutely fight with the same force and the same argument as electronic media, says Frédéric Fabre. Regarding his value proposition, remember that Industry 4.0 in itself does not represent any value. Rather, the solution approach of Industry 4.0 opens the door to new products, new product-related service, and improved production process. So for Frédéric Fabre, it's first of all a question of understanding what the customer wants and how they can help him to be more efficient. Is more efficient because he will have a more interesting and more important return on investment, or help him to optimize his cost. And who say cost does not necessarily mean lowering his prices, but optimizing his global change. Frédéric Fabre goes on to say we bring value to our customer because we simplify their lives and allows them to do things they couldn't do, thanks in particular to the technology put forward by Industry 4.0. It has always been the DNA of this company to want to offer new solutions and has been for, I think, 27 years. At the same time, it was a choice. Today, for this company, according to Frédéric Fabre, it is an obligation. The customer does not always know his needs. He needs to be accompanied. Printer 4.0 of tomorrow need to be there to tell their customer they can help them with their price, but also with how they can order and consume print. Industry 4.0 should be an opportunity to simplify the life customer both upstream and downstream. For example, Industry 4.0 printing company will be able to provide their customer with a shorter time to market for their new product, to a better responsiveness to their request, 3 customized product at cost close to mass production, for a more eco-responsible approach through more efficient use of natural resources and energy, and so on. This value proposition is important because it will define how the printing company 4.0 will differentiate itself from its competitor to attract, retain, and deepen relationships with its target customers. So now regarding the channel and customer relationships, the question is, first of all, through which new channel will the customer segment want to be reached? And regarding customer relationship, what new type of relationship will be expected? In fact, creating value printing company 4.0 of tomorrow means finding the right service to market combination, that is to say, marketing the service, the delivery, or even the solutions that meet an unmet need in the customer segment targeted by this company. However, this value creation will remain theoretical, if the customer or client is not aware of the value proposition, the service that this printing company build up over time. So now regarding the channel and customer relationship built by Dupliprint. It can be noted that Printer 4.0 still rely and will continue to rely, in my opinion, on their sales team, but that they rely more and more on a platform economy. Platform that they develop like Sophie for Dupliprint, or partner platform like the famous self-publishing platform Lulu.com for this group, Dupliprint, and the use of this partner channel not really result in lower margin, but also allows this printing company to extend their coverage and benefits from the strength of their partner. This web platform has become one, if not the entry point for their customers' orders. So, regarding, for example, Sophie Dupliprint platform, Fabrizio Dupliprint explained today, if we analyze the way we consume, is completely different from 10 years ago. Today, we buy our train ticket online, we book a hotel room online. It's a movement that is there and that is present. And the habits that we have as individuals, we expect them as professionals. Dupliprint started from this observation that the web has become unavoidable. Thus, they ask themselves each time the question of how they can help their professional client, marketers, manufacturer, communication professional, and so on, to place their order online. That's why they develop platform and that allow to store and customize template. They, for example, recently launched a platform to manage events, for example. Now, regarding the key activity. So we understand, we defined, you will define your value proposition, but now it's really important to try to align your activity with your value propositions. So regarding key activities, what the question you should have, what will the new key activities you should implement within your print shop? How does Industry 4.0 will enable to improve your value chain performance? Which emerging regarding key resources, which emerging technology will you use? What about your people skill as enablers? How to develop missing capabilities to raise your Industry 4.0 maturity level, and so on. The platform and other solutions put forward in the value proposition of this company have led this printing company to think about new industrial strategy to meet the new requirement and behavior of their customer and principals, and in particular of that of long tails, print on demand, printing per unit, or even mass personalization, thanks in particular to the maturity of the fall in the cost of inkjet and toner technology and other technology put forward by Industry 4.0. These industrial strategies are important because they will define how your printing company will distinguish yourself from your competitors in order to attract, retain, and deepen your relationship with your customer that you will identify in the first block that we previously see. So, regarding Dupliprint and their position on the long tail. So you will discover that since the acquisition of Dupliprint, the Dupliprint group is now responding to all the long tail, whether for large run numbers, medium series, or print on demand, up to the unique printing and or mass customizations. These positions are made possible thanks to a diversified fleet sheet of machines, but especially in the tails, thanks to the platform developed within the group, such as So Simply or Surfy platform, and partnership with platforms such as Lulu.com. Thus, in addition to this activity explained by Fabi, the Dupliprint group strive to set up and develop tools to aim to simplify the life of their customer in their order taking, and to, at the same time, to simplify the internal life of the group's company with less administrative cost and less repetitive tasks. The objective of Dupliprint is to develop solution websites or automatic upstream workflow, which will feed its production sites and thus capture printing in a slightly more intelligent way. So, regarding the key resource of Dupliprint group, you will discover that all the technology is choice according the different strategy. Because what distinguishes one printing company from another is what it prints, how it prints it, and what purpose it print it. Indeed, if the organization, in the case of printing company, as far as we are concerned, can print things that its competitor cannot or do not yet do, can or cannot do as well as it does, it is because the printing company has organizational capabilities that distinguish it from its competitor. Similarly, if it appears that competitors are not capable of learning to do the same thing, its distinctive organizational capabilities are a source of defensible and therefore sustainable competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is a knowledge of how to produce product and service, innovate faster, and meet evolving customer needs to get faster turnaround time to market. The manufacturing company operating or printing business leader is then invited to clarify if its industrial strategy and more broadly its business model to identify the capability that will support its model. More simply, in the case of graphic industry, depending on the competitive priorities underlying its industrial process, the printer is here invited to decide whether it chooses an approach of mass or stock printing, print on demand, or unit printing, and or mass customization, or even a combination of these different industrial strategy, which imply a profound change of paradigm in terms of industrial strategy. In the case of Dupliprint Group, mainly with acquisition of Dupliprint, this group combines all of this industrial strategy, including mass customization. Mass customization refers to the ability to deliver customized product or service through flexible process in high volume at a reasonably low cost. Normally, differentiation and cost leadership are seen as contradictory competitive strategy, but Industry 4.0 take on the challenge of leading them simultaneously with mass customizations. So mass customizations then become one of the pillars of Industry 4.0. Thus, of Printing 4.0, it is derived and its derivatives, that is to say, finishing 4.0, packaging 4.0, emerging as a new manufacturing and management philosophy for many printing and manufacturing companies. So the key activity and key resource of Dupliprint. The Dupliprint Group, for example, in order to meet its industrial strategy, rely on the technology put forward by Industry 4.0, including digital technology, inkjet, sheet fed, wave laser, large format, especially for personalization, but also traditional sheet fed offset and web press, because Industry 4.0, according to Frédéric Fabi, is not a question of old or new technology. It's a mix of both, with the objective of satisfying and responding to the customer needs. The group, especially since the acquisition of Dupliprint, covers with its offset, digital and large format machines the entire value chain of its customer to accompany them in their development and their communication needs. And to link all this, the group is investing in ERP, in automation, to know when the document has gone from step 1 to step 2 and so on. Fabi say we need to track and schedule all these steps correctly. We really don't pretend we reach the end. We have already automated a lot, but we still have a lot of work to do internally, especially on ERP, scheduling software, on shop floor data entry, and etc. We need to be able to track and schedule all these steps correctly, say Frédéric Fabi. Another very important point, data is truly becoming an essential resource for printing company 4.0 and for the group strategy Dupliprint. And even more than data, explained Frédéric Fabi, it is a possibility and the simplicity with which they will be able to retrieve it and especially analyze it. They now know the overall cost price, but they need to be even more precise on such and such a machine, on such techno, and so on. Industry 4.0 and the collection of machine data, the number of clicks, the number of turns, the number of sheets printed, will enable them to be even more precise about the profitability, and not for an order and on the market they need to rely on, and conversely those where they need to go out. So regarding now human resources, Dupliprint, Frédéric Fabi explains that the new capability and the new profile is project manager, IT specialist, developers, especially in order to pilot and internally develop their web solutions, such as the SO5 solutions or piece of solution for certain customer. Regarding their commercial strategy, Frédéric Fabi explains that the fact to sell solutions, web solution also has an impact on the key competencies of its sales representatives. We don't sell web solution like we sell printing and manufacturing services. You will see the customer trying to understand how it works, how it distributes its document to its network, what time it can waste because of multiple exchanges, proof, and so on. It's very important for them to accompany their salespeople toward this new model, to move from a product model that is no longer suited to their sector to a service model. So the question of a key resource that will enable the smart printing company of tomorrow to implement print and finishing 4.0 process, and especially smart supply chain 4.0, is in fact important and difficult. The question that you should ask is, what strategically valuable capability must the printing industry acquire to respond to both the digital and industrial transformation of their environment? But above all, to gain a competitive advantage and hope to survive in its market. In other words, which are the key ones? That is to say, rare, valuable, non-substitutable, and difficult to imitate, allowing this company, your company, to undertake your transformation. And of course, in which technology will then imperatively have to invest to meet the new needs of the market and to differentiate yourself and reshape your value proposition in an increasingly connected world. So, what is important to say is that the benefits, as say Frédéric Fabi of Print 4.0, will only become apparent with an intelligent combination of old and new capability. Print 4.0 will realize that their ability to constantly reinvent competitive advantage will depend less on their internal than on the ability to look outward to networks of business partners looking for resources to assemble the right mix of skills that resonate with their own organizations, key products, and process strategy. We note that the application of industrial strategies such as unit printing or mass customization will require significant capabilities, in particular in the development of web-to-print solutions space, user-friendly co-design solution, capability directly related to how printing and other manufacturing companies interact and will interact with their customer in the future. And an advice regarding the smallest of them, the smallest printing company are invited to minimize the complexity and the impact generated by more personalization, to specialize, to focus on their skill, their key skill, and to act within an ecosystem in which all players contribute through their specialization to creating value for the customer. The simple survival of some printing company may even be based on the ability to cooperate with other market players. So now the impact on the value chain. The consequences of more personalization are increasingly complexified, are an increasing complexity of the manufacturing process, and thus have an impact on the key activity of the smart printing houses of tomorrow. We note that the customer move up the value chain, increase printing company 4.0, but also the other player in its new chain to organize itself to respond as quickly as possible to a demand for a printing and personalized product. Printers need to move away from the old static vision of their business and adopt and implement a more dynamic, automated, interconnected, and autonomous process, thanks to technology like cyber-physical system, cloud computing, robots, artificial intelligence put forward with Industry 4.0. So now regarding, we discuss a lot with the importance of the key partner. As we say, printing companies are invited to perceive their supplier and partner as an extension of a single value system, a value chain system, or more precisely of a value network, and themselves as an extension of a large ecosystem. They will use the capability and resources of their partner to significantly improve the footprint of their core competencies, and vice versa for the partner. So it's really important that you ask the question, who will be your strategic partner for your new business model? What role do they play? The challenge for the printing company is then to identify the best core competency within your partner, your future partner, and collaborative relationship between their business partner in the search of new capability to achieve innovation in printing, product design, manufacturing, delivery, customer service, as well as cost management and value-added service. This company will thus have the opportunity to take advantage of the skill of their partner and thus meet the need of the market, but above all, being able to easily rebuild their value chain and adapt to change to market and technology change, while developing digital intimacy with their supplier and customer that help maintain trust and foster innovations. In case of Dupliprint, it's very interesting. The group uses several types of partnership. The first is technical partner, IT service company, publisher from different agencies to develop solution consulting service for its customer. Business partner, such as the Lulu.com platform. More punctually, specialists on subjects that the company does not yet master, such as artificial intelligence. It's a more one-off type of partnership, which is more in a forward-looking approach, but which can become regular partner if they succeed in developing solutions for their customer in area they don't master yet. And of course, hero partners. Yes.
Yves, you have to be aware of the time, please.
Oh, so I finish. Okay.
I want to talk. I want to talk to you as well.
I'm passionate. So only a few words for the other blog. So it is important that you integrate the notions of integrated network in order to construct your new business models. And regarding now the last blog, cost structures and revenue structures. What is important, I would like to give you the vision of Frederick Faber. Regarding Dupliprint, the group rely on both a cost logic and a value logic by relying on the approach provided by Industry 4.0. The objective of Industry 4.0 is to increase their income by finding business that they could not have without 4.0, and also to optimize their cost thanks to the implementation of 4.0 projects that they have drastically reduced their cost for processing, order tracking, and so etc. Besides that, they have invested a lot to set up this 4.0 industrial strategy. So today, in the current state of affairs, say Frederick Faber, they must continue to develop this 4.0 project with their customer. It's really the objective of this company. And now regarding the return investment, it's too early to draw a conclusion today. They must continue their effort and to work on it every day, repeat Frederick Faber. So one conclusion now, I think. So you will discover it, but don't worry, you will discover these presentations on the platform INKISH News. Here you have a global view of the business model 4.0 of this company, Dupliprint, Dupliprint. And a few sentences in this 4.0 and mass customization that goes with the other opportunity for manufacturing company to redefine their organization, both strategically and operationally, in order to capitalize on the heterogeneous needs of customers. Industry 4.0 provides an opportunity for business leaders and their associates to step back and rethink the way they do and we do business. And indeed, many academic authors maintain that Industry 4.0 is essentially about new and innovative business models that I say at the beginning of my presentation, which encompass a new opportunity arising from the use of the new technology put forward by Industry 4.0. That is a new business model that will make this new technology successful. So thank you very much. Thank you, Martin.
It's me that thank you, Yves. You know that I'm always intrigued about what you're saying, because I think that one of the reasons why I like working with you is also because you have a tremendously also academic background for what you're saying. You have knowledge and hands-on from being a consultant, and then you have an education where you also have the academic background for it. One of the things that I can't help think about when I look at the business canvas model, which you also presented in articles in INKISH News and on our European version of Smart Factory a month ago. When I look all these post-it notes with all the things that you put into the canvas, that is a kind of an idea phase. I think the challenge for the printing company is still how to make that operational, right?
Yes, it's true. And it is the first challenge, but also the second challenge, and I think it's perhaps the more difficult, is to align their value propositions with their key activity and the key resource. You should have a coherence between all the blocks. Sometimes when I work with owners and others, managers, they approach this canvas block by block without thinking to have an overview and to take care to align. That's the reason I create another tools in order to understand, okay, we start first of all by a commercial strategy, a marketing strategy. Afterwards, when we have a clear vision about our commercial and marketing strategy, what will be our industrial strategy?
Yeah.
And this industrial strategy should be aligned with the commercial. And afterward, we should take care that your digital numeric strategy will be aligned with your industrial strategy. And you, by the mean of cause and effect, you should, okay, now, for example, with my digital strategy, I invest in a platform, or I invest in the new technology, in new digital press. What this new investment will change my commercial and marketing strategy. So we should restart the cycles and not to stay, okay, I have now a plan, and all the way to start, okay.
So does that mean that if people think that a business model is a kind of something that you take out of the drawer every year or every second year, that is wrong? Well, they should basically have it as a dynamic tool that with every change in market and technology and understanding of customer behaviors, then you change the elements and figure out how that influences the rest of the business. You
summarize perfectly the way to do. Yes, the tasks are to try to draw a business model, a dynamic approach.
I have a last question. Sorry to interrupt you, but we're just running out of time. We have Canon in the waiting line already. A question that I can't help think of is that sometimes when I have advocated for printing companies to have a business plan, there's actually a lot of printing companies who don't even have a business plan. And so when you look at I wouldn't say that this is complex. I would say there's a lot of things in it. So do you think this is more, that the business canvas model is more aligned with bigger companies that have resources for filling out all the boxes?
Today, no. what should I take care? It's true that for SME company, small company, I like the often I meet owners that they are the feeling and intuition about what the direction to take for their company, and it's really important to keep this way to conduct mainly a small company. But now, due to the hyper concurrence
do you think that is
as we
changing?
discovered, it's really important to share this tool with small company and outsource and other manufacturer.
Yves, I want to thank you. I know it's also almost 8 o'clock in the evening in France, since we're in the same time zone. You have your beers to go to. I have my red wine to go to, and
I'm very hurried to. Yes, we have.
Yeah. So thank you very much for your time here. I appreciate that you're sharing your insights, and yeah, as usual, I'm just very happy working with you. So thank you for your time. We will play some music now, and then in the chat, Deborah has already put in the links both for Yves, of course, if you want to stay in contact with him, but also the link for the next session with Canon, where we're going to talk about this smart factory. Why is that important? Production print. So that might be interesting for everybody to participate in as well. So have a good evening, Yves, and see you soon.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.